What's your favorite doctor-patient story?
My favorite doctor-patient story. There's so many. uh, I'm not sure. I wasn't ready for that one. I'd say the one that pops into mind first was a younger girl that probably shouldn't have any kind of issues. She couldn't turn her neck at all. She had just woken up that day and her neck was just completely immobile. After x-rays, figured out that it was safe to adjust. When we adjusted her, she jumped off the table, gave me a big hug, and that was just it. It was awesome. Just to have that feeling of, oh my God, you helped me out so much. And that was cool. I liked it.
Do you have a favorite doctor-patient story?
Yes, I do. There's one that really sticks out to me. It was a great success story, but a gentleman came in 3 years going through lower back pain, ended up having surgery, ended up seeing an orthopedist, neurologist, was not getting the relief, unrelenting leg symptoms. So the nerves in the lower back were being impinged or there was scar tissue there, and he was just numb, both legs, right? And this has been going on for 2 to 3 years. Comes in after one treatment, at least 50% better. I was amazed. I mean, we understand the power of chiropractic, but sometimes you don't understand how much it's going to help people. You know, that was his first chiropractic experience. He didn't know what to expect. All he knew is that this was kind of his last stop, his last ditch effort, and it was life-changing. I mean, I saw him for, several weeks afterwards, and we continued to work on it, and, just continued to progress, but it was amazing that after that first visit and then continually, I mean, just life-changing. Really, it was wonderful.
What's your favorite doctor-patient story?
Favorite doctor-patient story, wonderful lady that I met my first year in practice, had a lot of old issues with her neck, had actually had a surgical fusion, but was still getting radiating symptoms into her arms, pain, numbness, all these things, and was involved in an accident, had an injury, and let her know right up front that weren't really sure how far along we'd be able to get her, just because of her old problems and previous surgeries. And as she continued with her treatment, each visit just a little bit better and started to have an amazing effect on some symptoms that were never actually cleared up with her surgery to begin with. So to be able to do that with just my hands, it was an amazing confirmation that I was heading in the right direction.
What's your favorite doctor-patient story?
My favorite doctor-patient story? Probably when I was in high school shadowing a chiropractor. I wasn't a chiropractor at the time, but what I saw and experienced was very moving. A guy has been thrown around the medical field. He's been in chronic pain for years. No one really knowing how to fix him. No one really helping him. It was more he was just thrown around from doctor to doctor, pain medicine, surgery, this, that. And it wasn't until he came into the chiropractor's office where we just sat down with him, and the doctor who was treating him just spoke to him, let him talk, really listened to his story. He got his hands on him a little bit. Very easy, basic stuff, but after that, he broke down and started to cry, and really, I was a student, I didn't know what I was like, uh-oh, did we do something? And he just started to cry and say, I've never had anybody spend so much time with me. It feels like every time I go to a doctor, it's in and out. No one really cared. And he was just crying, saying, thank you so much for spending time with me. I already feel a little bit better. He wasn't completely better, but he was feeling a little bit better, and he just really was moved me. And I was like, whoa, this is great. And if I can do that with people, that was it.
Doctor-patient story.
Maybe not a specific one time, but one of my favorite experiences are people that have never been adjusted before, and when they get their first adjustment. Like just a couple days ago, a patient, first time to a chiropractor, never been seen, super stiff neck, she couldn't even move. Get her first adjustment, she sits up, look on her face when she turns her neck. She's like, you can see, she's like, I wish I knew about this sooner.
What's your favorite patient story?
favorite patient story would be a young little kid who had some concussion type symptoms from playing tackle football, and had some bad hits for a couple weeks, and he was probably, I want to say he was probably about 7 or 8 years old. His mom brought him in very concerned, had been to multiple doctors, 2 specialists I believe, and he was just not a lot of energy. You could just see in his eyes, very soft-spoken, didn't look very focused. His whole, affect was just really flat. So, and I obviously didn't know him before that. So his mother just said that he's just not the same kid he was a month ago, and was really concerned and didn't know what to do. And so, me being a whole year out of school, said, okay, we'll evaluate him, and we took some upper cervical x-rays on him, found a listing that was there, adjusted him, and it was morning, and I told Mom he may fall asleep, he may just stay the same, just kind of monitor how he is today and give me a call, maybe tomorrow. And she called me that night before I left to go back home, drive home, and I thought initially, like, oh, what did I do wrong? Like, hadn't been in practice very long at all. And she was in tears. I remember she called, and that's probably what threw me off the most. But she's like, he went right to sleep in the car as soon as we left. He just woke up. It had been 6-7 hours later, and he's a totally different kid. I don't know what you did, but like, thank you. And so he came back next day and was like, hey, Dr. Nick, and I'm like, well, who's this kid? Like, totally different. So that was really neat. Yeah, really neat.
What's your favorite doctor-patient story?
Favorite doctor-patient story? Got a bunch. Some of them are not always the most appropriate. A good one, I take pictures with all my patients. So I'm taking a picture with this little guy, a young kid, probably 7 or 8 years old. I'm like, let's throw the peace sign up for the picture. So I could put my arm around him, throw his peace sign up. He does his. After we take a picture, print it out, I look at it, and I'm like, well, what is this kid doing? He threw his fingers up like this, and not your normal peace sign. Everyone in the clinic loved it, and we kind of made it a running joke.
Your favorite doctor-patient story?
Wow, I have so many. I think, and it's not one particular patient, but I love it when the patients come in and at first they're kind of angry. They're upset, they're hurting, and I feel it, and I know that they're in a lot of pain. And it's scary to have to trust someone with your body, and when you're in that much pain, and to see them change, to see their attitude, and they become happier and softer, and then by the end they're like giving you this big old hug, and they're some cry, so just experiencing that change, that's what makes it just worth it.